Black screen. What does that mean? Alright. Welcome. Welcome on in. Take a seat by the campfire. I'm guessing that the screen isn't actually black. It just looks like that from my perspective. Weird. Okay, something to look at. What would you like? So weird. I guess. Hmm. Let's see. Hi everyone. Welcome on in. Take your time. So, this is not a message everyone is going to want to hear. I already know that. The message is about no, which is funny because I feel like I haven't heard anybody actually term in a really long time. Um, and it's something I used to hear a bit, particularly in school. Why? Not because I knew everything, but because I'm a freaking oracle. Because I'm a sage, right? And I'm pretty pissed off that the fucking chat GPT, the fake AI is using all of these terms that are actually ancient terms that refer to me, right? Me and my people who are oracles, people who are sages. We've existed for a very, very long time. Yeah. Hi, how are you? Welcome on in. So, random know it alls. You may have noticed this, and it's basically coming through that it's a Western world. Um, I don't want to say sickness. Sickness isn't the term I want to use. It's a Western world. Uh, I don't want to say illness. I don't want to say epidemic. Um, Phenomena. Is that the word? Of know it alls, right? And when I was younger, people used to say, I used to hear this expression, nobody likes to know it all. And somewhere along the line, um, I know it's because people are using, like, people think that they're like a robot or they're uh, like a AI, helpful AI or something. But all these random know-it-alls, like all these random people trying to tell strangers what to do. It's happening more and more. And I don't know if they realize. Hold on, me and my organization skills. Hold up. Um, I bet someone's got some advice on how I could set up my camera. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being yourself. And if you're a know-it-all, you're gonna hate this message. So something about inappropriate use of public spaces is coming through. Inappropriate use of public spaces. How much charge do I have on here? Oh, yeah, that's enough. Okay. So, hi. So, you may have noticed that random people are trying to tell you what to do, right? So random know-it-alls. And I've been asking my spirit team, why is this happening, right? And what's really weird for an oracle or a sage is like, so sages and oracles, we don't know everything. We don't know everything, right? So we don't have the information in our um, brain, in our minds, the way that most people would consider knowledge and look at knowledge, right? We have a ability to tap into knowledge. We have an ability to tap into past lives, to tap into collective consciousness, to tap into information. So if I want to know something, I can get my cards. I don't need my cards most of the time. I can channel that information. So in that sense, it is like oracles and sages have an ability to tap into potentially limitless knowledge. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about random strangers, random people who you don't know. This could be happening to you. You might be noticing this happening to you more and more. This could be people you do know, but people that don't have the gift of being an oracle, being a sage, being a prophet. People who are not tapped into their magical abilities in that way. People that do not channel. And I don't know if it's like because the sorry, have to excuse. Because there's been a collective awakening, right? Because there's been like a collective awakening. It's like people who are not magic like us, they're like getting deeply insecure or something about their knowledge and their wisdom. And I think it's also got to do with a general insecurity that the entire human collective is going through because we're not robots, right? Let me just cover that up so I'm not distracted by people jumping on in and out. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it has something to do with. I am sure. Please give me clear divine guidance, be most beneficial. I'm uncomfortable delivering this message because it makes me feel it's so awkward to say, but it makes me feel sorry for these people, right? It makes me feel really sorry for, and it's like this icky kind of gross like it's pathetic, you know. It feels very desperate and pathetic that all of these humans are now so desperate for people to see their worth or see their value or see them as being as intelligent as a robot or as intelligent as these things, right? And then there's this other side which is deeply frustrating and upsetting for us magic beings who like live an existence that is not accepted by society, hasn't been for thousands of years, and now there's literally tech companies trying to replicate what we do and then sell it as a product, right? First of all, it's deeply impacting our business. It's deeply affecting the way people want to like actually engage with the real thing, right? Even though oracles won't just tell you what you want to hear, a good sage, a good tarot reader, a good oracle, a good medium, even somebody who speaks to the dead, they're not going to tell you just what you want to hear, like AI does, like tech, like tech does, you know. And so there's some kind of epidemic of insecurity that's happening in the Western countries, specifically in the Western countries, that is resulting in know-it-alls, like random people wanting to tell you, me, each other what to do. And for somebody like I'm queer, as you probably know. I'm gender non-conforming, so I have a very broad spectrum of understanding of um, sexuality, of intimacy, uh, gender roles, um, of chosen family, which is something that queer people, the rainbow family, have had for many, many years, because we don't all fit in with our family, we don't all get on with our families. Um, so it's kind of a little bit like doming as well. It's a little bit like almost like this dominating, like it's kind of like passive aggressive wannabe doms, know-it-alls, right? Um, and it's creating this kind of tension and this um, okay, so I guess I can talk from my perspective as someone who can read people, as an oracle, as a sage, as a medium, as a clairsentient clairvoyant. um, it's like I'll look at somebody and they're saying one thing, but I can see absolutely beyond that mask, beyond that veil. And it's actually a really difficult thing to live with. It's actually not, people don't understand, it's actually not a nice experience most of the time, right? And it's like the spiritual awakening that has occurred is giving everybody the opportunity to either move closer to their divine form, which is everyone being tapped into higher consciousness, which is everybody having the ability to use their intuition, right? Not just knowledge that they've read in a book or that they've looked up online, or something that they're being told and prescribed what to do. Clearing all projections, rejecting all projections. And I'm really struggling to talk about this because I don't like looking down on people. But like when a random person tries to be a know-it-all with me and tries to like tell me how to do something or how to be, or like assumes that they know more about me and my well-being and my health and my identity, or like anything that's not from, like, they don't know me. These people don't know me at all. And this is happening heaps, and I'm sure it's not just happening to oracles. I feel like it's happening between the know-it-alls as well. And it just reads as incredibly insecure. Yeah, I said it. It comes across as um, being incredibly insecure. Like, and sad. Like, it feels sad that these people um, are so fearful as being seen as stupid or something, or unvaluable, I guess, because everything's changing, society is shifting around so much, that they want to try and dominate and be better than other people by being more intelligent than other people. And I guess that could be seen like I would be excited about the idea of society's priorities shifting from being superficial and like image based to intelligence based, right? So people sharing knowledge. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people consensually sharing knowledge. I'm talking about people like thinking they know better. Thinking they know better than, you know why it creeps me out? Because it's like missionary culture. It's heaps like missionary culture. So across the world, and this still happens to this day, there are missionaries like who go into other people's lives, into other people's communities, into other people's homes, into other people's countries, cultures, and basically thinks that they and tries to force their way of being and their idea of what's good onto them. And like the worst kind of know-it-alls who have a history of abusing, of violating, of even, you know, raping, pillaging, plundering, murdering. That's the point. That's the level of like a missionary mindset that seems to have been reactivated in the last decade, in the last 5 years. It's gotten much worse. And it's very awkward when it happens, particularly if it's like you're in public and you're doing something and then some random know-it-all will come and try and tell you what to do. And it's also happening in this really creepy, passive aggressive way of like, they'll come and try and like pretend they're on the phone and talk about what you're doing, or they'll try and like really over the top loud, like screaming at the person behind the counter about what they want you to hear. Actually, it's like nauseating just thinking about it. It's so cringe. It's so unhinged. It's so pathetic, and it's so steeped in bigotry. And it seems to be happening so much more from white people. So and I'm not limiting it to that. I'm just saying that I think that's where the real, like, it's like a mental health crisis that's happening within the Western community, within Western countries. And then I'm seeing all this stuff about how Westerners are actually becoming more stupid, right? Becoming more, they can't think for themselves. Literacy is getting worse. Numerology is getting worse. Numbers, right? Counting, whatever, which has definitely never been my specialty. But hey, I'm an artist and an oracle. And you have to excuse, I'm not feeling very well, so I'm doing this channeled message from bed because I miss y'all and I know you're missing me. And I'm just like, there's this, I think some of them are starting to wake up to how creepy and weird it is, and some of them are starting to feel guilty. Yeah, because a lot of people, particularly white people, are putting other people in danger via this behavior, via this very weird thing that's happening. Hello? Why, hi. That was so weird how that just happened. Hi, who's in the room today? Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I made a video yesterday talking about how, like, I'm not sure, but I've been getting some intuition that like this app might be a scam, you know? And then I have these moments where I'm like, but I love some of the content creators on this app, right? Hold up. Oh, so many distractions. By the way, this isn't my music. This is by a creator whose name is spelled Saavane. And this is copyright free music. This is so awkward to talk about, y'all. Like, I don't know what's wrong with these know-it-alls. Like, I don't know. And the weird thing, it's like, it seems to also be, I don't know if it's like maybe some kind of darker forces intention to try and stop the work of actual oracles and sages. And it's not the same as like if you, for example, you pay somebody to give you advice, you know? This is like people not getting paid to give this advice. This is like random, it keeps coming through like random know-it-alls. I know that doesn't sound very sophisticated when I say it like that. And I keep hearing nobody likes a know-it-all. And it's like, oh, sorry, am I saying that too much? I don't want to sound like a stupid girl. There we go. Something's coming through about dishwashers. Like even now, it's like I'm tempted to like try and comfort you and comfort these people, but I know it's important for people to hear this message and to understand that it is it's like a sickness of the ego. It's definitely a sickness of the ego. It's so awkward to talk about. It's so awkward to talk about. Yeah, and it's actually now starting to affect, like, okay, so there was a mass spiritual awakening that took place in, I would say, in correlation with hundreds and hundreds of years building up to this. People don't understand, actually thousands of years building up to this break in this expansion of collective consciousness. Of when we talk about that, it's not just about the brain, it's not just about knowledge, it's about emotional awareness, it's about being tapped into the ether, being tapped into a different way of thinking, right? Like the pool of collective wisdom and knowledge that has been created since the dawn of time, and us actually being able to activate and use more parts of our mind and more parts of our intuition, as well as activating and heightening all of our senses, all of our abilities to be able to pick up information, to process information, and to make decisions for the self. This also happened in correlation with the pandemic. And during the pandemic, people's liberties and rights were something that was very highly discussed. So maybe for some of these know-it-alls, it's so awkward to talk about. They don't realize that they're taking away other people's autonomy and freedom and right to choose what happens in everyone's individual life. And it's also like, it's none of your business. Like, it's so fucking weird. And I don't know if it's maybe come about from people being on the internet, being like, oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that. Oh, I think this. Da, da, da. And, we're getting to the point where people are going, actually, we don't need to be hearing everybody's opinion all the time. And it's very compromising for people like me who have a calling to deliver channeled messages. And I don't know if it's my like cute baby face or my effervescent, vibrant personality that will be here forever, right? Like, as long as I'm alive, whatever. And then it's also in my soul. But so many, particularly white people and particularly white women, want to dominate me and like mother me and like teach me, like this weird like teacher thing. And it's definitely sometimes has this undercurrent of like a sexual attraction or a sexual desire, right? Or some kind of power play dynamic that these people seem to want to push on me. And I never buy into it, and it seems to make them want it more. Seems to make them hunger more to be seen as right and be seen as smarter than me. And I think there's also something about like my body shapes. There's something about me having brown skin. There's something about me being an artist, being very unique, being a oracle who can see things and read them like a book. That seems to be creating this it's like lancing a boil. It's like lancing this disgusting boil of insecurity that is sitting in the mind of the Western world. And I might do a part 2 of this video because it needs to stop. And I guess I'll pull some cards on this as well later. It's just when people used to say to me, no one likes a know-it-all in school, in primary school particularly, I didn't realize that I was like channeling messages. So I would like get up to do like a project, and I often wouldn't have studied or prepared for the project. And I would just start talking, and I would just channel messages. Like I would channel information about the subject matter. So I often got through with marks that were higher than people that had studied really hard or people that had actually learnt the information, I didn't realize I was doing that for a long time. I didn't realize I was doing that. And now I have realized I'm doing that. It seems to be angering a lot of people, particularly white people or people that want to be smarter than me. And then there's this whole other thing that happens between minorities competing with each other, which is like a whole nother absolutely horrific situation. Anyways, I'm going to go have some breakfast and some coffee, and I feel relieved to have started this conversation because it's really uncomfortable that people keep doing this. And I feel sorry for them. And I find that a very uncomfortable position. It's like, why do you care how I do what I do? Why do you care how I do my shopping? Why do you care how I deal with my own medical needs? Why do you care how I look after my dogs? Why do you care about how I deal with my problems, you know? And why do you think you're better and know more than me or everyone else? You've got to let that ego go, you know? And it seems to be a reaction to the spiritual awakening of the world, because the knowledge of a mystic is not something that you can contain or control. Yeah, I think it's a control freak thing too. I'm allergic to control freaks. I always say that. But a lot of them seem to be really drawn to me. Like people just like I'll be somewhere and people just want to come and stand as close to me as possible and like be in my energy, and it's like that energy vampire thing, but then they want to still be seen as better than me. It's very fucking weird. Oh, excuse my language. And then it can also, I feel like it's interrupting me getting to tune into and listen to actual beneficial messages from actual oracles, sages, as well as teachers who have learnt things. And I don't mean teachers in school, I mean people that are discussing things and sharing things and having like a conversation with me. Like, I love the idea of having a conversation. I love the idea of sharing information consensually. But these know-it-all, insecure, wannabe doms, they they're not interested in having a mutual exchange. It's such a gross energy. Like it feels like, ugh, I don't know. And something about mothers. I don't know. Eek! Okay, so much love. Ugh, it's so yuck. It's so hard to talk about. Yeah. Entertainment purpose only. Blah 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 blah.